and welcome to day number 3 of our Christmas Yoga Advent classes. So in today's class you are going to be practicing Surya Namaskar Sun Salutation B, which is a longer version than what you practiced on day number 1. Afterwards, you're going to be practicing the transition from your three-legged dog into your low lunge. And this is a transition that we often use within our flows, and some may find it very difficult if they do not know little techniques and little tricks that you can do in order to help that transition be smooth and controlled. So join me at the top of your mat with your feet just slightly apart, drawing the shoulder blades back, and I will see you there. Okay, so now that you are at your mat, we are going to start at the front. So come to the top, rather, of the mat, draw the shoulders back. We begin very much like we did at the start of our Sun Salutation A, which we performed on day 1. So we're going to lift up from the crown of the head, again, draw the shoulders back, palms facing forwards. Now Sun Salutation B is a longer version than A. And so we have some additional positions that we are going to work through. So let's take the arms all the way up. Take a deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, bend the knees. Fingertips brush the floor, Utkatasana chair pose. So you want to make sure that your knees are in line and that you can see your toes. Tailbone is slightly tucked under, arms are extended. Take a couple of breaths here. And then hinge forwards from the hips as we come down into Uttanasana. Inhale up to a halfway lift, fingertips to the shins, gazing forwards. And take a deep breath in here as we breathe out, hands come down, we plant them down onto the earth and we step back into that plank pose. Now we can begin by just dropping the knees down to start with, untucking the toes. And then we shift the weight forward slightly, engage the core, Chaturanga, lower down. And then deep breath in, up to a cobra position. Draw the shoulder blades back. Let the tops of the feet gently press into the floor. And then breathe out as you push back into your Adho Mukha downward dog. And again, this might be your first downward dog of the day, so just slowly ease into the position, heel toeing the feet. Now we add in our variation here, which is different to Sun Salutation A. So we start to lift up with the right leg, extending up towards the sky. We start to draw the knee in, rise up onto the toes of the left foot. Gazing forwards, we step the foot through, in between the hands, or just behind. We're coming into this low lunge, making sure that our right knee is over ankle, and we can drop the back knee and untuck the toes. So we'll add this variation in first. We're going to push through that front foot, rising up into a low lunge. Taking deep breaths in and out, still lifting through the crown of the head so that the spine is nice and long. Let's then bring the hands down, framing the foot. We lift the back knee, we step back to plank. Again, we can drop the knees straight away if you want to, or if you want to keep them lifted, you can. And then again, we engage the core and breathe out, Chaturanga. Elbows into the ribs. Deep breath in as you come up to a cobra position. If you do prefer Sphinx, come down to your forearms. And then from here, we come up onto our hands and knees. We tuck the toes under. We send the hips all the way up towards the sky again. Extend through the back, easing into your Adho Mukha. And then extend your left leg up towards the sky. It doesn't have to go too high at all. Draw the left knee in, rise up onto the toes of the right foot. Gazing forwards, step the foot through. Again, arriving here in your low lunge, drop the back knee, and let's rise. Engaging the core, focusing forwards. We then bring the hands down, framing the foot, lift the back knee, step back into your plank. And again, you can drop the knees or keep them lifted, Chaturanga. Inhale up, Cobra or Sphinx, and breathe out into your downward dog. Heel toeing the feet. And then start to take your feet in towards your hands. Arriving in your Uttanasana, we swing the arms forwards, bend the knees, Uttanasana chair pose. Lengthen through the spine, making sure you can see your knees. You can see your toes. Your knees are in line, there we go. Slowly begin to straighten, take a deep breath in. Exhale, Tadasana, and rest. So that is one round of our Sun Salutation B. We're going to go through it again. This time we're going to rise up into Warrior One instead of staying in our low lunge. So again, making sure you have enough space behind you, drawing the shoulder blades back, palms facing forwards. Inhale, let's lift the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, Uttanasana chair pose. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hinge forwards from the hips. Uttanasana. Inhale up, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, bend the knees. Plant the hands down, step back to your plank pose. Knees up or down, Chaturanga. And push through to either Cobra, Sphinx, or this time if you want Up Dog, press into the tops of the feet. Lift the hips and the knees off the mat. And then exhale into your Downward Dog. Again, working through the spine. You might be able to see the flexion I have in my lumbar spine here, which is a common thing that I'm working on, something that I'm working on with my back at the moment because I have a very flexed lumbar spine. So, taking a couple of breaths here. Let's lift up the right leg. Three-legged dog. Draw that knee in, rise up onto the left toe, step the foot through. Plant the back heel down now. So your back foot's 45 degrees. Make sure right knee is over ankle. Swing the arms forwards, push through the front foot, Warrior One. Bring the hands down, framing that foot, step back into your plank, and then we go again, Chaturanga. Knees up or down. Pushing through to Cobra, Sphinx, or Up Dog. Exhale into your Downward Dog. And again, walking into the knees. We then send that left leg up towards the sky. Rise up onto the right toes, draw the knee in, step the foot through. Back foot, heel comes to the ground. We rise up to Warrior One, hips are facing forwards. Find your balance. Back toes are facing the front corner of the mat. Perfect, and then bring the hands back down. Frame the foot, step back to plank. Engage the core, Chaturanga. Cobra, Sphinx, or Up Dog. Exhale into Downward Dog. And then walk or jump your feet forwards. Arriving in Uttanasana at the front or the top of your mat. Swing the arms forwards, bend the knees, Uttanasana chair pose. Slowly rising up, deep breath in. And exhale. Tadasana. So we'll do one more round of each. We're going to take it just that little bit quicker this time. But if you want to go slower, please do so. Draw the shoulders back. Lift up through the crown of the head. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, Uttanasana chair pose. Hinge forwards into Uttanasana. Inhale up to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back to plank. Shift the weight forwards, Chaturanga. Cobra, Sphinx, or Up Dog, and breathe out into your Downward Dog. We then lift up the right leg, draw the knee in, set the foot through, drop the back heel, rise up, Warrior One. Bring the hands back down, frame the foot, step back to plank. Arrive in Chaturanga. Into your cobra or up dog. Exhale into downward dog. Inhale up with the left leg. Draw the knee in. Step the foot through. Back heel drops. We rise up to warrior one. Exhale the arms down. Step back into your plank pose. Chaturanga. Cobra, Sphinx or up dog. Breathing out into your downward dog. And then we go and walk and jump off our feet forwards. Arriving in Uttanasana, swing the arms forwards, Uttanasana. And then slowly straighten, deep breath in. Exhale to Tadasana. And rest. So well done everyone. We're now going to look at our transitions from three-legged dog through to our low lunge. Okay, so we're now going to be practicing our transition from our three-legged dog into our low lunge. This is something that you may find is a little bit tricky. You may find that you are constantly having to step your foot through by dragging it in between the hands. However, there are lots of ways to practice this, and eventually with flexibility as well, you will be able to manage stepping that foot through. So what we're going to do is we are going to come into our downward dog. So whilst we're here, just going to lengthen through the spine, remembering what we looked at on day one. And begin to extend your right leg up towards the sky. Now it really doesn't have to go very high at all. What you need to try and do is as you bring that knee in, rise up onto the toes of the left foot. That knee draws in and you're creating this huge arch here through the spine, and the knee is coming straight up towards the chest. So just do that a couple of times, bringing the knee in. As you breathe out, rising up, shift the weight forwards into the hands and push back. Last time. And come back. Place the foot down. Come down to your hands and knees and give your arms a little bit of a rest. So it's that position where you have your arms straight out so that your weight is coming into your hands and you're really shifting that forwards. Your knee is then really being drawn in towards the chest. So you're kind of in this position here. You're really rounding the spine. You're sending your knee in towards the chest. Now also, it does work your flexibility, especially through the hamstrings, because you're trying to get your heel towards your glutes, because obviously you want to try and create as much of a gap in between yourself and the floor. So let's come back up into our downward dog. We're going to try on the other side. So lifting up with the left leg. Draw the knee in, rise up onto the toes of the left foot. Really round the spine, you're in that cat pose. And breathe out, send it back. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. And go back. Last time. Bring the knee in, rise up onto the toes, shift the weight through. And back. Then place the foot back down and come back down to your hands and knees. Give your arms a shake and your shoulders. So we're now going to do this with the blocks, because some people may find that giving a bit of height is going to help them. So if you do have blocks, you can grab two and you can have them, make sure they are the same height, obviously, or if you haven't got blocks, you can use books. But as I said in our video on day one, just be really mindful that if they are those that have that covering that are quite slippy, then you might find it's a bit tricky. So do try and find some books that you can create the same height with if you haven't got blocks. When you place your hands on those blocks, you need to come back into your downward dog. By extending up and drawing that knee in, rising up onto the toes, you've got that extra height to step the foot through. That was quite loudly done. So try it on both sides if you need that extra bit of height, just rising up and stepping through. okay? And you can always use blocks in your practice, so don't ever feel afraid to use them because they are there for your support and your guidance, and they're really useful to have. So coming back into downward dog, we're going to extend up with the right leg. Now either use the blocks or not, depending on whatever you have and what you want to do. Draw the knee in. Now as you step that foot through, you're going to look forwards, just in between the hands, and then step the foot through. Nicely done. So we'll try that again. Sending it up towards the sky. Draw the knee in, rise up onto the left toes and step the foot through. There we go. Now even if you place your foot here, just behind your hands as you're coming into that low lunge, you could always send your left leg back a little bit more. So don't feel like you have to lift and place the foot down. You can send your other leg back to ensure that your knee is over ankle. So let's try again on the same side. We take that right leg up towards the sky, three-legged dog, draw the knee in, gaze forwards, draw the knee into the chest, step the foot through. Into your low lunge, and then you can drop the knee and return back. We go on the other side. So sending the hips up, let's extend that left leg. Rise up onto the right toes, draw the knee in. Looking forwards, knees really into chest, push through the hands, step the foot through. And again, you can shuffle that back leg back as well. And then drop the knee and return. So try that a couple of times. And as I say, you don't have to be dragging that foot through. Now, one other pointer to make is if your hand lifts up, which is completely fine. In my training, I was told to always keep my hands down, and they would be forced down within my practice, and it's something that will come with time and flexibility. So don't worry if your hand lifts up. Mine used to all the time, but just continue to practice and you will eventually get there. As I say, it does require your hamstrings to be quite flexible to get your foot towards your glutes. And so let's just try one more time. This time as we step the foot through, we'll rise up to warrior one. So extend up with the right leg. Draw the knee in, rise up onto the left toes, really round the spine, weight comes into the front hands. We look forwards, we step the foot through. Drop the back heel, press into that front foot, rise up, warrior one. Bring the hands down, step back into your downward dog, Adho Mukha. Working in to the knees and into the back. We extend up with the left leg. Rise up onto the right toes, draw the left knee in, gazing forwards, step the foot through. Drop the back heel, rise up, warrior one. And then rest. So well done. You may want to continue to practice that, but good work for today, and I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Namaste. Thank you for joining in today. Don't forget to hit subscribe in order to follow the remainder of our Christmas Advent yoga sessions. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste.